Hello! We are doing a video on how we make Mandalorian armor. I say our, but it's really just me. But this is my Mandalorian armor set. If you've seen my photos on Instagram or TikTok, came out pretty good. There's some parts I think I need to fix on the paint a little bit. It's not quite the Beskar look, but it's pretty dang close, all things considered. So we're going to go through how I built this suit right here. We're going to go through the process on how I did all that, and maybe you guys can make one yourself, use the same process, stuff like that. Alright, so we have our bin of armor parts and fabric pieces. We'll go through the armor parts first, and then I'll show where I got the soft parts from. First piece is pretty simple. We have our shin guard piece. Now this shin guard, how you put it on is I added a Velcro spot in the back. It's adjustable so that can Velcro together. And we have this elastic, another strap that slides down. And then here we have a Velcro, I don't even know what you would call this thing. This Velcro detail right there, and then the shin guard right here. A buddy of mine actually printed out this shin guard piece from the Galactic Armory files. They're pretty accurate to the show and everything. And then he originally had painted it that brown color that originally the Mandalorian had. And then I painted it this black color. And then weathered it from there to make it more accurate to the one you see in the Mandalorian Grogu. We have a Velcro piece right here just to attach this. Next piece is this thigh plate. So this one are files I got for free from Forge Master Props. So I had printed this one out on my Bamboo Labs over there. You can see on the back it says Forge Master Props. This one I originally painted Beskar silver like this one. And then I realized that his is actually black and has some a lot of scuffing, probably even more than this, scuffing on the armor itself to make it look all weathered and stuff. But these are my two pieces. Those are both from Forge Master Props. I got these models there and then printed them out from there. But I think they look pretty good. The paintwork I did on it, I really enjoy. There's still some light surface scuffing. It's a little off, but alright, here's another armor piece. This one is from that same friend of mine who made the shin guards originally, so this is a Galactic Armory file. And then, so he did all the painting and sanding and smoothing on this one to make it looking nice. And then I added some Velcro to our, it's not gonna come off, to this fabric piece. So this fabric piece is also from Procosplay. It usually has fabric armor like this. Just what it comes with is, it's cool, but it has a good color to it as well. Like the Beskar fabric, I think, is the right color, but it's just a fabric gauntlet versus like an actual gauntlet, you know? Yeah. You know, it's not even a toss-up. So these are the fabric pieces it came with. So this is the original chest plate that is sewn onto the vest piece. So I just had to seam rip it off and then install some Velcro sewed onto the harness here so we can get this chest plate going. And it's cool because he left it in two pieces. So if you get the Velcro in the right spots, you can move around. It's nice and comfortable that way. So I just showed you the fabric gauntlets. Here are the ones I had printed and finished out. These were free files off of Maker World. I have to find where which profile it was under, but these came out pretty good. I made them so that I can slide my hands on because I don't like the clamshell thing. It's too much to deal with. It's whatever, you know, but you just slide it on, makes it a lot easier to put them on that way, at least for me. I might still add lights in the future, but these are, I don't know, I think they look pretty good for right now. These shoulder pieces are also from that friend of mine. His name is Chris G. Gonzalez, by the way, on Instagram and I think on TikTok as well. But he had made this armor originally for himself, but he had upgraded, so he did not need these anymore, so I bought them off of him. But yeah, good finish on there. I literally printed one of these and then was like, oh, you have old armor? Yeah, I'll buy that off of you because I needed this done for the premiere for my work. But yeah, these pieces are looking pretty good. It originally came with these ones, which, you know, color, honestly pretty close, but the style is just, it's not it, you know, Armor all the way. The knee part was especially interesting to me because this is the one I had made, so this is also from Forge Master Props. You can see it on the inside there, maybe? That's the difference there, right? So yeah, just much better overall. I used a piece of Velcro, and then I ran out of Velcro on making this, so I put this piece of command strip here for now, and then I just command stripped it to the pants because I needed it for a quick event. But I'm going to add Velcro to that, just like everything else. I usually use some industrial strength Velcro, so it does hold, but I am seeing that these blue plates that go into the belt, you can see this belt plate right here. This plate has some Velcro on it that I think I'm going to steal, actually, because that's some good Velcro, actually. These nice little hooks, it's always good to resource them. But yeah, this is the belt also from Procosplay. The cylinders do not come with it. I added those myself, so I 3D printed and added those. We have our blaster right here. I printed this one out, also free on Maker World, and then painted that one. I need to add orange tip though for cons. We have our grenade belt here. So the grenades I was pretty happy about because I put a little magnet on them, and then there's a screw on the plate right here, so that you can magnetize them on. Now he did give me this backing plate as well, so that when I printed it out, it would, you know, attach there. And then I used my own screws I have. I used some those car screws that are like nice and flat. Pull it up to the camera here. Some little car screws that are nice and flat. They go all the way through to the back plate right here, and then that just holds, you know, everything together right here. This it doesn't let the hip plate wiggle very much, which I might try to change to let it give some flexibility, but otherwise it's pretty good. And then I printed out these cartridges and slotted them through the belt loops there. And then this part I was really happy about. I 3D printed this and added a magnet to it, so that for our rifle, it can use the strap with our other magnet that broke on there, and it'll slot through, hook on, and then it holds like, you know, like that. Or the rifle itself is actually a Nerf gun. What I do want to do with this is, because it is foam up here, the paint keeps cracking. I should probably do a layer of plastic dip and repaint it, or I was thinking of making one out of TPU, that's that flexible filament, just so it doesn't wiggle as much on the forks. Be a little more, you know, stable and a little less jumpy around. Next we have some parts of the flight suit. So the pants originally, those aren't the pants. Those aren't the pants. These are. So these are the pants. Originally, these pants did not have the Velcro on them. They have, you can kind of still see some of the seam lines there. They had the armor. I say armor because they're, where is it? The armor was sewn on to the pant like that. It was just fabric stuck onto there. But I switched out for that Velcro, and now the hip, or not hip plate, the leg plates will just Velcro onto there with the industrial strength. And then they'll be on there pretty good until you want to take them off, in which case you can, you know, do that. The next part of our suit is the, you know, the top part of the jumpsuit. So like the shirt and the cummerbund piece. Now usually this is separate, but I kept finding the placement off, so I sewed it down just on the front there just to keep it in place. And then it has a nice industrial zipper on the back. But it's a pretty good flight suit, good detail. This Velcro on the chest here is to help the cape, because the cape has a Velcro system already built in. So it has a double Velcro system, and then this flap to stick it onto the part of the shirt right there. The gloves I was actually kind of happy about. I like the way they look. I still need to weather them. I like the way they look, and then I printed out these hand plates. The ones that it came with also had just the fabric, and they painted them like Beskar, which is interesting to me. But I kind of like this blue vinyl piece. I was thinking about putting it on here, but I already had paint that would work for it. But I do like these gloves. They're leather, so they fit pretty good. Push the fingers down, just make sure they're all the way on. I like the wrinkly look for it. It helps the aesthetic of it, honestly, I think. But it looks pretty good, especially with the rest of the costume. Definitely needs weathering, but works pretty well. And then I'm assuming you want to see the whole thing on, so I'm going to put the suit on real quick and then show it off in its full glory. I did not mention when I was putting on the pants, or I guess I should mention, is that it has the belt loops, but I find that they slide down a lot, especially after the armor and stuff. So what I have here is I have some suspenders that are actually going to just go around and hold them up. Nobody will see them either because, you know, the flight suit will be over it, and they're pretty comfortable to wear. So moving forward, this will be the new standard for them. It'll look a little funny underneath though. All right, now we're rocking the one shoe on, one shoe off. We're gonna put on the shin guard piece. So hang on. I'm gonna fold this up. Get it on. Get our boot. Put that on. Shin guard all around it. Boom. And then strap it in. Now, put it on. We're gonna do our other leg piece. Now this just came from Procosplay. This is a strap with the 3D printed piece that I had made on the back right here. That just goes on like this, and then has a zipper to zip up. I know Star Wars fans, no obvious zippers, but I don't care. Boom. Now this whole piece came from Procosplay except for that, and then I sewed it on, and then we got our knee piece right there. We have our jumpsuit on. This one's pretty easy to put on. There's just that Velcro piece in the back and then a zipper. And then we'll put on our upper body armor. This will just slide in like this. All right, then we can use this purse leash, hooks onto the zipper, and then you just pull it right up, and it just zips right up. We're gonna put on some of the other armor pieces now, starting with the belt area. Belt area is pretty cool, so the top of the strap loops through here. Do I have the right side? I don't. It was important to make sure you get the right side on it. So slide it through. We're going to grab our two Velcro pieces. Pull the belt off of here. And then strap it on. And then it'll just Velcro into this spot right here. Easy does it. Just like that. Get our cape on. Also came with Procosplay, but I put the little holes in it with my blowtorch. Cloak on. Weird opinion, I think Mando looks better without a cape. I'm not a fan of capes. Which is funny because I like Batman, but I'm not a fan of capes usually. I think they look kind of ridiculous. We got our shoulder piece Velcroed onto the armor set. Boom, boom, boom. The shoulder pieces it came with had like little snaps originally. So I took those off and I added the Velcro because Velcro is much more reliable, easy to snap things onto, especially those snaps just do not hold up very well usually. And then what we'll do is we'll put our gauntlets on. They are just slip-ons, so they'll go like this, slide right on. Same thing on the other side. Now a lot of people care a lot about the accuracy of even how the suit goes on. I don't care about that because it doesn't make any sense for it to be custom fit for one person and then expect yourself to wear it for that custom fit, right? If it's custom fit for that person, then you wear it for custom fit for you. So if the gauntlets are slide on for you and that's easier, you do that. Sometimes people get a little too into it with all the perfect everythings. Like there's an open zipper on my shin guard. Who cares? It's a costume, you know? Next thing we got is we have our black paint and our chrome paint. Now these are what I use to get this effect on the armor. So I'll spray, after sanding is done on these, you spray with the black semi-gloss or a gloss coating, and then you'll hit it with the chrome paint to get that one going, and then you'll hit it with the graphite powder. You give it a rub, and then clear coat, rub, clear coat, rub, clear coat, and then it ends up looking pretty similar to the paint from the, forget the acronym, HPV gun, HLP gun, HPL gun, the painting gun. I always forget the acronym for that one. I don't know why. But we have that, and then we have, of course, our helmet. All right, so this is done that same way as the rest of the armor. I have the leather strap I added with the magnet on it, so it'll magnetize to our little shoulder strap right here, and then just fall on over there. Make sure that lays flat. And that should hold. I've walked around at least for like a few hours with this like this. And it only needed me to fix it maybe like once or twice, so that was pretty cool. But otherwise, it's kind of how costume comes out. Try with the helmet. There we go. Now I would talk more, but I don't want to have my voice muffled by the helmet. We also have the bag for Grogu as well. My girlfriend has a little Grogu that I'll put in my bag and I carry around, but I don't have one myself because I'm not a Grogu fan. I like the Mandalorian though. But something cool that we made for the premiere recently was the sword. So this sword was from Special 3D, I believe, was the place I got this one, the model from. And then I, printed this, did it with that chrome paint that you saw before, and then made it for the premiere coming up here soon. But overall, with the suit, I always love me a sword. When this movie comes out, I'm be interested to see how he gets it exactly. But very happy with how this came out. If you guys have any questions or comments, that's what the comment section is for. I usually answer all the comments. If you have tips, tricks on what to improve for this, I know I might need some LEDs for the gauntlets. These usually light up, but the LEDs in them got mangled, so I have to figure that out and fix that. But overall, not a bad costume. Pretty good for, I think, less than a month. I put this one all together. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!